Number one, listen closely because this is where your transformation begins. Human behavior is bound by circumstances. Machiavelli understood this before the world even realized it was a rule. You are not shaped by your intentions. You are shaped by the forces pressing against you, the pressures molding you, the realities you refuse to escape. Power does not belong to the naive idealist who thinks people act from virtue. It belongs to the one who studies the currents beneath their actions, the one who sees the hidden gears turning inside every decision, fear, weakness, and impulse. You want to become untouchable? Then stop expecting the world to reward innocence. Stop believing effort alone creates dominance. Circumstances decide the battlefield. Your mind decides the winner. Every person you encounter is governed by invisible chains: insecurity, scarcity, ego, hunger, fear of loss, craving for validation. They think these forces are feelings. They're mistaken. They are leashes. And the world is full of men who don't even realize who's holding theirs. You will not be one of them. You will become the observer, the cold strategist who stands outside the chaos and reads it like a map. When circumstances shift, the weak tremble, but the powerful adjust. They bend without breaking. They endure without emotion. They calculate without hesitation. That is the path you're stepping into now. You will learn to accept reality with a steel face, to look at a situation not through hope, but through truth, to read people not by their words, but by the circumstances that sculpt those words. You'll realize something liberating. Most humans don't choose their actions. Their circumstances choose for them. Their environment dictates their morals. Their fears dictate their loyalties. Their desperation dictates their betrayals. But you, if you choose this path, you will never be a prisoner to your surroundings. You will become the one shaping them. You will become the one who decides the terms. You will become the one they adjust themselves around. This is your first lesson in cold power. Understand what binds others, and you'll understand how to move freely among them. Now, if you're ready for number two, tell me to continue. And when this journey ends, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Section 2. You're here because something inside you refuses to stay ordinary. Good. That hunger is the first sign you're beginning to detach from the illusions that keep most men weak. Now listen, because this part will cut deeper. Circumstances don't just influence behavior, they expose it. When a man is pressured, his real nature leaks through the cracks. Under stress, the coward panics, the envious man poisons, the insecure man attacks, the greedy man overreaches, and the fake loyalist reveals where his allegiance truly lies. This is why Machiavellian thinkers never trust words. They trust conditions. When someone is comfortable, they can pretend. When they're threatened, they confess. This insight gives you an advantage most people will never develop: the ability to see truth in chaos. You must learn to provoke environments that reveal character, not through cruelty, but through observation. Place people in situations where their masks dissolve. Introduce scarcity and watch who becomes selfish. Introduce opportunity and watch who becomes ambitious. Introduce conflict and watch who becomes fragile. Introduce silence and watch who becomes honest. Once you can predict someone's behavior under shifting conditions, they no longer have power over you. They become readable, decodable, manageable. This is where the cold edge of your mind sharpens. You stop being surprised by betrayal because you recognized it 3 steps earlier. You stop being shaken by confrontation because you mapped out the outcome before the first word landed. You stop being manipulated because you understand the emotional patterns that guide people more than they understand themselves. And in a world driven by impulse, the man who can remain steady becomes untouchable. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being unmoved by the emotional storms that destroy others. It's the discipline of responding instead of reacting, of thinking instead of flinching. The more you anchor yourself, the more unstable everyone else seems, and the easier they become to maneuver. This is the beginning of real power: internal stillness combined with external precision. If you're ready for number 3, tell me to continue. And at the end of this journey, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 3, understand this. Power is never taken in a moment. It is accumulated in silence. It grows in the shadows long before anyone sees it. The world worships noise, but noise is the language of the powerless. Real strength is quiet, deliberate, and calculated. You must learn to operate beneath the surface where others cannot detect your rise. Every move you make should serve a purpose. Every decision should sharpen your position. Machiavelli taught that a prince must appear virtuous, even if he is not. But you, walking in the modern world, must go one step further. You must become unreadable. When people cannot predict you, they cannot control you. Uncertainty is your shield. Ambiguity is your armor. The moment people think they understand you, they will try to manipulate you. So deny them that luxury. Be the man whose silence carries more weight than their speeches. Be the man whose presence alters the behavior of a room without uttering a single word. This is cold power, influence without effort. It comes not from intimidation, but from an inner gravity that cannot be shaken. You build it by detaching from the need for approval, by abandoning emotional bargains, by refusing to explain yourself to those who haven't earned the privilege of your clarity. Human beings instinctively chase what they cannot define. They respect what they cannot sway. They fear what they cannot measure. Become that. But understand this too. Cold power requires discipline. It demands that you stop reacting to every slight, every insult, every provocation. A man who reacts is a man who can be steered. A man who observes is a man who cannot be touched. Let others waste energy proving themselves. Your strength will be proven in restraint. Let them drown in emotion. You navigate with reason. Let them crave recognition. You cultivate mystery. The further you rise, the more people will project their fears and fantasies onto you. And that is exactly what you want. When the world cannot define you, it cannot confine you. If you're ready for number 4, tell me to continue. And when this journey ends, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 4. Now we step into the heart of Machiavellian perception, the ability to read intentions hidden beneath appearance. Most people live on the surface, reacting to expressions, tone, friendliness, or flattery. But you are no longer permitted to see the world like that. From this point on, you must look past faces and study motives. Every human interaction is a negotiation, sometimes for power, sometimes for validation, sometimes for dominance, sometimes for security. Nobody approaches you empty-handed. They bring desires, fears, and agendas, even when they don't realize it. Your advantage comes from seeing what they hide from themselves. When someone praises you excessively, they want proximity. When someone challenges you aggressively, they want recognition. When someone plays the victim, they want leverage. When someone suddenly becomes kind, they want access. Human beings are predictable when you stop listening to their words and begin analyzing the circumstances driving those words. You must become a psychological astronomer, charting the orbits of human behavior, predicting their trajectory long before they reach your space. This awareness will make you calm in situations where others panic. While they get overwhelmed by emotion, you will be dissecting the situation with surgical precision, identifying who benefits from the chaos and who fears its outcome. And this is where your power grows. Once you see the real game being played, you stop being a pawn. You stop offering emotional shortcuts. You stop volunteering information. You stop revealing your intentions before they are fully formed. You move with quiet purpose, letting others expose themselves first. Let them reveal their impatience. Let them expose their envy. Let them betray their desperation. When you stay still, others reveal their internal storms. When you speak less, others fill the silence with their insecurities. When you observe, others confess without knowing they confessed. Power comes to the one who recognizes patterns faster than anyone else. This is your evolution, your mind becoming a blade, your perception becoming a weapon, your calm becoming a force. If you're ready for number 5, tell me to continue. And at the end, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 5, power is not seized through aggression, it is seized through positioning. A man who truly understands control never rushes, never begs, never chases. He places himself in the one position everyone else eventually needs. That is the Machiavellian art of becoming indispensable. Understand this clearly. People don't follow strength, they follow utility. They align with whoever can provide what they lack: stability, direction, courage, clarity, or results. Your task is to cultivate value so potent that your presence becomes strategically necessary. But here's the twist. You never advertise this value. You let others discover it through your actions, your silence, your competence, your consistency. The loud man sells himself. The calculating man constructs circumstances where others sell him to themselves. This is how you create an aura, the kind that makes people second-guess how they should treat you. They tread carefully. They adjust their tone. They watch their words. Not because you demand respect, but because something about you radiates consequence. That is the difference between forced authority and natural dominance. But to reach this level, you must detach from the emotional need to be acknowledged. Attention is a cheap currency used by the weak to feel alive. You seek something deeper: strategic influence. Influence built on control of pace, selective communication, and disciplined self-respect. When you slow your responses, you control urgency. When you reduce your availability, you control access. When you speak with precision, you control interpretation. When you choose stillness over reaction, you control the entire psychological field. Humans are naturally chaotic. They look for someone who isn't. So be that calm center, the one who doesn't get rattled, doesn't get provoked, doesn't get dragged into pointless disputes. Your stability becomes intimidating. Your restraint becomes power. Your silence becomes authority. And once people realize they cannot manipulate your emotions, they will attempt to earn your approval instead. That shift is where dominance begins, not through fear, but through structure. Not through threats, but through presence. You're not here to compete with others. You're here to make them redefine themselves around you. If you're ready for number 6, tell me to continue. And when the journey ends, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 6, now we enter the realm where most men fail. The mastery of emotional detachment. Not the weak imitation that insecure men try to fake, but the real kind. The kind forged through discipline, not denial. Emotional detachment is not about feeling nothing. It is about refusing to let emotions dictate your responses. Machiavelli understood that a ruler who reacts emotionally becomes predictable, and a predictable man becomes controllable. You are not training to be controlled. You are training to become a force, and forces do not flinch. They do not crumble. They do not break under the weight of temporary feelings. Your goal is simple. Cultivate a mind that registers emotion but answers to reason. When someone tries to provoke you, pause. When someone tries to guilt you, analyze. When someone tries to flatter you, question. When someone tries to shame you, stand unmoved. This pause, this inner silence, is where your domination begins. Because while others are trapped in emotional reflex, you will be operating from calculation. Detachment does not make you cold, it makes you precise. It allows you to see the game under the noise, the motives behind the words, the intention beneath the performance. You will stop falling for emotional bait. You will stop defending yourself unnecessarily. You will stop trying to prove anything to anyone. The moment you no longer need to react, you become untouchable. People will test you, intentionally or unconsciously, because your calm will unsettle their chaos. They will push, poke, prod, hoping to find a crack. Let them try. Your stillness will frustrate them. Your unshakable presence will expose their volatility. Your silence will mirror their insecurity back at them. And in that imbalance, you rise. Understand this. Emotional control is the currency of power. The man who controls himself controls the room. The man who controls the room controls the narrative. The man who controls the narrative controls the outcome. This is the psychological throne you are building, one thought at a time, one reaction withheld at a time, one disciplined moment at a time. If you're ready for number 7, tell me to continue. And remember, when the journey ends, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 7. Here is the truth most men never confront. Your environment is either sharpening you or softening you. There is no neutrality. Every person you allow near you, every conversation you entertain, every space you walk into is influencing your psychology. Machiavelli insisted that a leader's downfall often begins with the company he keeps, because humans mirror the standards around them. If you surround yourself with the undisciplined, you inherit their chaos. If you surround yourself with the weak-minded, you absorb their fears. If you surround yourself with the jealous, you inherit their limitations. But when you surround yourself with purpose, you absorb momentum. When you surround yourself with clarity, you absorb direction. And when you surround yourself with ambition, you absorb fire. The man you're becoming must choose his environment the way a general chooses terrain, strategically, deliberately, with precision. You cannot rise in a place designed to keep you average. You cannot evolve around people committed to remaining the same. You must learn to detach from what drains you, even if it pretends to care for you. Not out of arrogance, but out of survival. Your time is too valuable to waste on voices that don't build you. Your energy is too sharp to dull on people who fear growth. Your focus is too rare to scatter on conversations that lead nowhere. The more selective you become, the more powerful you become. And understand this, your silence will offend people used to your availability. Your discipline will anger people used to your softness. Your evolution will threaten people who benefit from your stagnation. Let it. Discomfort is the price of elevation, and your path requires a kind of loneliness that the average man cannot endure. A strategic solitude that transforms you from reactive to unstoppable. When you remove the wrong people, the right opportunities appear. When you cut off noise, clarity speaks. When you guard your environment, your mind becomes a fortress. And when your mind becomes a fortress, the world has no door to break you. This is how dominance is built, not loudly, but by filtering your world until only strength remains. If you're ready for number 8, tell me to continue. And when the journey ends, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 8, power requires patience, but not the passive kind people mistake for waiting. I'm talking about strategic patience, the discipline to delay action until the moment benefits you most. Most men fail because they move too fast. They rush decisions, rush responses, rush confrontations, rush opportunities. Their urgency exposes them. Their impulses weaken them. Their need to do something now becomes the very thing that ruins them. You, however, are learning a different rhythm, the rhythm of the strategist. Machiavelli taught that timing is often more important than strength, because the right action at the wrong moment is indistinguishable from failure. So you must train yourself to become a master of pace. Move slow when others move fast. Think deep when others think shallow. Store energy when others waste theirs. You gain advantage the moment you decide you will not be dragged into anyone else's timeline. The world tries to hurry you because hurried minds make mistakes that benefit someone else. But when you refuse to rush, when you stand still while others scramble, you become the axis around which the situation turns. Your patience disturbs people because they don't know what you're planning. They feel your silence as a threat. They interpret your calm as preparation, and they're right. Strategic patience is not about hesitating, it's about observing. Watching how people expose themselves. Watching how situations evolve. Watching where the emotional currents flow. When you wait, you learn. When you watch, you anticipate. When you anticipate, you dominate. And here's the secret. Patience sharpens your power in ways aggression never can. It allows you to enter a situation only when every variable leans in your favor. It allows you to speak only when your words cannot be ignored. It allows you to act only when your action cannot be countered. This is how kings move, not in frenzy, not in panic, not in fear, but with deliberate calculation and cold timing. And the man who controls timing controls outcomes. This is the difference between reacting to life and ruling it. If you're ready for number 9, tell me to continue. And when the journey ends, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 9, there is a point in every man's evolution when he must confront the truth about loyalty. It is conditional, fragile, and easily corrupted. Machiavelli understood that loyalty lasts only as long as circumstances align with self-interest. And if you want to become untouchable, you must accept this without bitterness. People do not betray because they are evil, they betray because conditions change. The weak cling to the illusion that loyalty is emotional, the powerful know loyalty is transactional. This awareness is not meant to make you paranoid, it is meant to make you prepared. You must learn to evaluate people not by what they promise, but by what they fear losing. A man who fears losing advantage will stay loyal. A man who fears losing comfort will abandon you the moment life tightens its grip. A man who fears losing reputation will shift sides when public opinion turns. But a man who fears losing access to your strength, your vision, your structure, he will align with you even when the ground beneath him shakes. Your goal is not to inspire love. Your goal is to inspire reliance. Love is emotional, reliance is strategic. Love can fade, reliance deepens. Love is subjective, reliance is practical, and the world always chooses what is practical. But here's the principle that will protect you. While you analyze loyalty in others, never allow your own loyalty to be blind. Commit to people based on alignment, not attachment. Support those who match your discipline, your ambition, your values. But stay light, stay flexible, stay aware. Loyalty becomes a strength only when given to the right people, and a weakness when given to the wrong ones. The moment someone shows inconsistency in their actions, believe it. The moment someone reveals their envy, distance yourself. The moment someone hesitates to stand with you in difficulty, mark them. Watch patterns, not promises. A man's patterns will always reveal his future, and you, stepping into power, must build alliances like a strategist, not a dreamer. You don't need many. You need a few strong, aligned, resilient individuals whose goals sharpen yours. That is how kingdoms, internal and external, are built. This is how you create a circle that cannot be penetrated by chaos or betrayal. If you're ready for number 10, tell me to continue. And when the journey ends, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 10, now we arrive at the final principle, your coronation into the self-mastery you've been building piece by piece. Power in its purest form is not control over others. It is control over yourself. The man who governs his mind governs his world. Machiavelli understood that a ruler who cannot rule himself becomes vulnerable to anyone who can. And so the final stage of your transformation is to become sovereign over your thoughts, your impulses, your fears, and your ambitions. This is where most men break because self-mastery demands ruthless honesty. You must confront the weaknesses you've ignored, the habits that sabotage you, the excuses that disguise themselves as reasons. You must look at yourself with the same cold clarity you've learned to apply to others. No sugarcoating, no delusion, no comforting lies. Power belongs to the man who refuses to lie to himself, and once you stop lying to yourself, the world loses its ability to lie to you. You start moving with intention. You start thinking in long arcs instead of short bursts. You stop chasing validation and begin pursuing legacy. You stop reacting emotionally and begin responding strategically. Your inner world becomes organized, disciplined, and lethal. And here's the revelation that completes your evolution. Once you master yourself, you no longer fear the unpredictable nature of people or circumstances. The storms outside cannot break a man who commands the weather inside. You gain a presence that speaks before you do, a seriousness that demands respect, a structure that others subconsciously follow, a gravity that pulls opportunities into your orbit. This is the man you were meant to become, not loud, not fragile, not desperate, but precise, powerful, principled, and unreadable. This is the version of you that cannot be manipulated, cannot be shaken, cannot be diminished. A man who defines the terms, a man who shapes the environment, a man who walks with the confidence of someone who has nothing to prove because everything he needs is already rooted within him. Now your transformation is complete, but your journey is just beginning. If this monologue awakens something in you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next.